What's going on, everyone? I'm Jaren, and today we are talking about Gran Turismo. This is based on the unbelievably inspiring true story of a team of underdogs, including a struggling working class gamer, a failed former race car driver, and an idealistic motorsports exec who risk it all to take on the most elite sport in the world. Director Neil Blomkamp has come a long way since his big studio debut, District 9. Since then, he's gotten very experimental with the sci fi genre, some more interesting than most, but at some point, fans were even waiting for his requel to Aliens to come to fruition. That would have been awesome. But now, returning to the big screen after all this time, Blomkamp has approached the adaptation of a video game combined with a true underdog story. Now, I didn't get to see this in IMAX, but I was really hoping that my auditorium would have been the exception, such as Top Gun Maverick or Rush, to really up the bass in the surround sound. Like, my initial viewing would have benefited a lot from the roar of the engines, from the kick of the G force to the spark of the impacting metal. With a perfect balance of practical stunts and VFX work, Blomkamp was able to strap the audience in the seat of the GT, from the video game's visual and instructional cues to navigating the laps and placement in the race sequences. Now, I'm not quite sure of how much of Jan Mardenborough's story was translated to the big screen, but it was just impossible to believe the opportunity that these select gamers were given in order to compete in real life circuit racing. A Nissan executive collaborated with Sony PlayStation on the GT program, and they wanted to prove that dreams were more than just a simulation, but reality. Getting into some of the star power here, we got David Harbour as Jack Salter. He's an engineer with a past that has kept him on the sidelines for most of his career. He's led to coach these select contestants in all hopes of sending them home. With how little confidence he has in all of these candidates, really added some cheeky one-liners and an endearing arc between him and Mardenborough. The fun fact being is that the character of Jack is completely fictionalized for the film, whereas he was more of an amalgamation of various inspirations in Jan's journey. Jimon Hansu plays Jan's father, and I swear almost every lecture and almost every interaction almost kind of reminded me of my father and I. It really hit close to home, where he would kind of question my plans for the future, where he would sum up my passion for a simple hobby, and he would kind of yield me into more realistic careers and just set aside my dreams. What I do love about the father and son narrative was how much perspective they tried to reach one another with, instead of always being on the opposing ends. And I swear they needed to develop that just a little bit more, because Jan's father was just missing throughout the whole middle of the movie. Heart-wrenching stuff, though. I do think that Hunter deserves another shot at the Academy. Orlando Bloom was pretty good in here also. I'm surprised that they didn't get Sharlto Copley to play his character, because, as we all know, Sharlto Copley likes to show up in a lot of Neil Blomkamp's movies, no matter what shape or form, or even just the voice. But I was a little confused on his character's motivations, because he would kind of go back and forth on kind of achieving the impossible for the dreamers, and then what would look best for the business, you know? And then Jan also kind of had this brief little arc involving a love interest, which kind of felt like fluff. It felt like an afterthought. At partially, it felt a little unnecessary, but it didn't overstay its welcome to burn out the runtime. Last but not least, Archie Madikwe. I hope I said his name right. Gran Turismo expert turned professional racing driver Jan Mardenborough. Now, I had no idea till after seeing this movie that I've actually enjoyed some of the projects that he took small roles in. Having his talent front and center was very refreshing and very inspiring, and there was also a genuine sense of anxiety and imposter syndrome when it came to a lot of the challenges that he faced and how he responded to it. Other than his performance alongside Harbour, Hansu, and Bloom, I think that it was an honor for him to actually work with the real Jan on the racetrack stunts. Now, I've been seeing a lot of mixed reactions between audiences and critics and why they're divided on Gran Turismo. Granted, the script and execution of this type of story has been done in various iterations of the sports subgenre, and just like what I said in my review for Air, just because something is familiar doesn't mean you're not allowed to like it. I mean, it may be formulaic, the whole structure and everything like that, but that doesn't mean I was going into it expecting anything more. I was just hoping to have a really good time. This also goes for the dramatized events and the uplifting speeches that are served up at every turn. It's a sports movie. I'd be upset if there wasn't any. In a way, it also found multiple angles to tackle some vulnerability and inspiration to conquer the impossible, especially in this day and age. But in the end, especially if this becomes someone's first sports movie, the message still packs a punch. Overall, this movie turned out to be a lot better than I expected, exhilarating, exciting, and incredibly moving. Emulates the same energy as Rocky and Top Gun with race cars. Blomkamp and Sony PlayStation continue to strive for success, and I sure hope we get more ambitious projects like this one. Alright, guys, that's all I got to share about that movie. Go ahead and check it out on the biggest screen you can. I'm Jaren Ugbanawag. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Look forward to more reviews, and I will see you guys at the movies. Take care.